This video goes over solving a system with fractional coefficients. If the coefficients are fractions, it's helpful to multiply each equation by its respective LCD in order to clear fractions. Remember from our work with fractions that LCD stands for least common denominator. And the denominator is the bottom number. So the least common denominator is the lowest common multiple of the denominators. Once you clear your fractions, you can go ahead and proceed to solve your new system. But then when you check your solutions, you want to use your original system to make sure you didn't mess up somewhere. So here we have our system 1/2 x plus 3/5 y equals 2. And we have 1/6 x minus 1/3 y equals -10. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to try to eliminate yet. What I'll do is I'll look for the LCD of the fractions. So here I have 1/2 with a denominator of 2 and 3/5 with a denominator of 5. So the LCD is 10. That's the lowest common multiple of 2 and 5. So I'm going to multiply by 10, which is the LCD of these two fractions, 1/2 and 3/5. For the second equation, I'm looking at 1/6 with a denominator of 6 and 1/3 with a denominator of 3. The lowest common multiple of these two is 6. 3 goes into 6 and 6 goes into 6. So I'm going to multiply this one by 6. That's my LCD. So now I get to distribute that, and I'm going to go ahead and multiply each term in the equation. That 10 pulls through. So 10 times 1/2 will give me 5. So I'll have 5x. 10 times 3/5. If you need to do the calculation over on the side, you can. So 10 times 3/5 is going to be 30/5, which is 6. So I'll have plus 6y. And 10 times 2 gives me 20. So there's my new whole number equation that's equivalent to the equation 1/2 x plus 3/5 y equals 2. All right, now I'm going to distribute the 6 here. So 6 times 1/6 would just give me 1x. 6 times -1/3 would give me a minus 2y. And 6 times -10 would give me -60. So now I have this new system. I'm going to try to solve this system. And I'm going to go ahead and use the elimination method. Remember, with the elimination method, what I want to do is I want to choose a variable to eliminate. So you can pick the x or the y. If I pick the x, then what I would do is I would multiply the second equation by a -5, so that when I distribute that, I'll get -5x, which will cancel with the positive 5x in the first equation. So let's go ahead and write our new system. I'm going to get rid of this side calculation that I did earlier. So I have my new system, 5x 5x plus 6y equals 20. And negative 5x, I get negative 5 times negative 2 is plus 10y. And then negative 5 times negative 60 would give me a positive 300 because negative times negative is positive. My 5x and my negative 5x are going to cancel. And so I'll end up with 6y plus 10y is 16y equals 320. Now I want to go ahead and solve for the y. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and divide both sides of that by 16. And we get y equals 20. If you need to use the calculator, you can go ahead and do 320 divided by 16. Now to find x, I'm going to plug that y value into either of these equations. So let's say I pick the 1x minus 2y equals negative 60. So I'm picking the second equation that was modified to not include fractions. So now I'll go ahead and plug in 20 for y. So I get x, 1x is the same as x. So x minus 2 times 20 equals negative 60. So x minus 40 equals negative 60. I want to go ahead and solve. So I'm going to add 40 to both sides. I'll add 40 on the left, add 40 on the right. And I end up with my x value being negative 20. So x equals negative 20. Okay, so we've got our solution. The key with checking is that you always want to check in your original equations. So in order to check, I'm actually going to use the equations that have fractions. So I'll have 1/2 x. X is negative 20, so 1/2 times negative 20 plus 3/5 times y, so 3/5 times positive 20. That has to equal 2. And my second equation is 1/6 times x. So 1/6 times negative 20 minus 1/3 times y. So minus 1/3 times positive 20 has to equal negative 10. So I'll just pull up my calculator and I'm going to plug those in. So I'll get 1/2 parentheses negative 20, close the parentheses, plus 3 divided by 5 times positive 20, close the parentheses, and that equals 2. So that one checks out. I'll do the same thing with the second equation. 1 divided by 6, parentheses negative 20, close parentheses, minus 1 divided by 3 times parentheses 20, close parentheses, that equals negative 10. So you've checked your answer in the original set of equations. If both of those check out, then you know that you got the correct solution. X equals negative 20, y equals positive 20. So quick recap, when you are when you are solving a system of equations that includes fractions, multiply each equation by its LCD in order to clear the fractions. then solve like you would a regular elimination problem. Then check your answers in the original two equations that involve the fractions.